It's a great day. I get to do something to a modern bike, something I haven't done in a while, that I love to do, and that is exhaust work. I really do. We're going to take a stainless steel pipe off of this bike and update it with a whole new pipe that just hit, and I think it might be on the internet a little bit, but this is one of one, the one that I have. Before we get started, side note, one of my favorite songs to listen to while working on the bike, those of you who are a child born in the 70s will know, because in high school in the 90s, Rammstein, Du hast. The sweet sounds of the German language. What are they so mad about? I mean, they're just mad about everything. They've made some mistakes. All right, so I got to get this moved around because, yeah, there's stuff. Halloween was last night, so my wife just threw everything from the golf cart there. That's perfect. The old shovel, perfect. Doesn't need a thing right now. Chopper on the lift, still going to get to mounting that tank permanently. Nice workspace, and this guy was jammed up against a wall. This bike is, this is actually Advan's bike. I never ride it. It never gets ridden. It just sits here, and we need to put miles on it so that it can someday go to California. Although there's discussion we might get a new bike. I don't know what's going to happen. It's not mine. It's not my decision. But right now, as it sits, it's got their brand new performance bagger bags and side covers. It had the cut-in tank on it. Whole other story. The fuel pump died. I don't know what happened, but sometime after Sturgis, fuel pump died. So I took everything apart and put it all back together, and then was thinking, you know what? I think we might end up trading this body for another body from a buddy of mine, blah, 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 blah. Unless somebody wants to buy it, shoot me an offer. And I know he wants the stock tank. So I just put the stock tank on it, just back on it. So the cut-in tank is in that box right there. We'll do something with that. But new pump and pressure regulator, now the bike runs fine. I didn't do any video on that because if you've done a fuel tank in a modern dresser, it's a pain in the ass. All these plastic mounts and you're fighting and cursing and insulting people's mothers and stuff to get this stuff. So I didn't video it because, I don't know, it just didn't seem exciting to me. Sorry if I was wrong. But let me get this moved around. And then we're going to pull off this stainless Vance Hines. I have some thoughts on that, a long-term review, if you will, because we put a couple thousand miles on it with that pipe. And then we're going to put on something new and awesome that I'm incredibly freaking excited. So yeah, that's what we're taking off. That is the Vance Hines RR pipe. When we first bought this ST, we're building it out sort of performance bagger style so that Advan can kind of use it as a guinea pig. That and Steve at Sick Baggers also has a bike. We have them, both, and we're messing with them to sort of design these new parts and stuff like that. Well, I suggested the pipe. It's my fault. And then Alan bought it. And it's a Vance Hines RR. It's a very expensive pipe. And, this is one of your pricier ones out there. It's the one they run on their King of the Baggers bike. And the funny thing is, as expensive as it doesn't come with those heat shields. That was a separate accessory we had to buy. And it's fine. It's quiet. I don't know. That just seems to be the thing with Vance Hines pipes anymore. There's just no sound. Like they're really quiet. Now I know loud is often not fast, and you don't get full power at full loudness, and there's stuff there. But still, it disappointed me. And the way it exits, it is just sooting that bag all the time. It's tuned right. It's been tuned right, but it's still just kind of dirty. So I'm glad to take that off. Also, look at what happens to them after a while. This bike lives inside. It is not thrashed about. It is not abused. It's mainly a highway bike. It is tuned, Power Vision, and it just turns brown. It's just that to me. I mean, no offense. If you're one of those guys who love these things, don't take it as me knocking you. It's just, they just don't look good after a little while, and that bothers me because this bike is so pretty. So what we're going to do is a new pipe. The new pipe. I think there's one video out there, I can't remember who it is, that might have this pipe, but this is a one-of-one version of it. Y'all know if I put pipes on a bike, I put tabs on. There's tabs on the wife's orange bike. There's tabs on my Road King. There's there'd be tabs on the Shovelhead if they made them for old stuff. I love the sound of tab pipes. They're loud. There's a crack to them. They're, everybody, even my friends, they won't ride behind me, but they love the sound of it. Well, the thing that they have been missing, I say this lovingly for the longest time, is the 2-into-1. All they had was duals. Everything dual. You could do a 2-in-1 and a 2 head pipe, or 2-in-2 head pipe, and then different sizes of muffler. They had all the stuff, you know, if you want to do different ways, all tab stuff, but they didn't have a 2-in-1. And we all know the performance bagger style is definitely 2-in-1. And when we bought this Vance Hines, the only reason we did is because Alan did demand a 2-in-1 on this guy, and there wasn't a tab. Well, now there is. Side note, no, I will not be selling the Vance Hines pipe. I'm going to hold on to it for something. It's not really mine. I didn't pay for it. So, no. When someone says, "Oh, I want to buy that," no, the Vance Hines is not being sold. But this pipe we have is Tab's new Redline 2-in-1. It is supposed to be the perfect combination of two worlds: performance, good numbers on a dyno, and sound. So we're going to find out. It's already cool looking. They make shit in an awesome way. It looks great. So no question there. I'm going to go ahead and show you now. When we first started talking about doing this forever ago, Beatrice and I were chatting about doing something funny and putting the logo on it or something. And I admit, I was on a business trip after having been to a happy hour meeting thing and had a couple drinks in me, and I start firing off funny ideas. Beatrice is a pal, so we're laughing, texting back and forth. And it shows up and I open it, and the wife and I about fell over laughing because he actually did one of the things that I said maybe we could do. Yeah, this is how I do videos, dude. This is not a set. Anyway, so there's your head pipe, all right? As you'd expect, 2-in-1. Big old muffler, right? Put the logo on the tip. That's what makes it 1 of 1. But then a little joke that I made that he actually did. Just the tip. That's laser etched into the exhaust tip. So I asked Beatrice, are those going to be available if you want? And he said, I mean, anything's possible, but they're not going to do one. They're not going to sit on an image. So if you really want one of those, or even you could just get a Tab one that says just the tip. Maybe, I don't know. That's between y'all and Tab, but you could call and maybe pre-order one, and when he gets like an order for so many, they'll make them. But I don't think it would take that long. But yeah, so if you want just the tip. And you're buying a Redline pipe, it's only going to be for the Redline. They're not going to retool stuff for the other one. But just something to think about. So let me start this Vance Hines so you can hear its quietness, and then we'll go from there. All right, so new fuel pump you can hear. Yeah. The old one didn't make that sound, so let's kick this over. So it's not a bad sound. It's just not loud, that's for sure. So again, it's not, I don't want to leave it too long because I have to put my hands right there. It's not, a bad sound. It's just, it doesn't have that sort of edge to it that I like, out of an exhaust. So now I probably need to let this cool for a minute, right? Let's see. Yeah, no, it's hot. So, and then we'll just pull this off. So the one good thing about swapping a 2-in-1 and 2-in-1, there's no crossover. There's just less work to do. So we have flange nuts. We have a single bracket, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that bracket, the springs. I think the tool for that's in the bag. And then it just comes away. It's a lot easier to take off. I mean, these are made for the track, so you're supposed to be able to pull that sucker off in a couple seconds and get to the motor if you need to. New one's going to do the same thing, 1/2-inch flange nuts. There's a bracket, I'm sure. You got a clamp. There's a bracket, a clamp. You got the shield. It's not going to be bad. When you're not messing with a crossover, it simplifies things. Well, that's a first. Taking the front head pipe out, and it popped out of the flange. So the pipe, I took one nut off, and then started loosening the back one. The one you got to get there with the wrench, and the pipe just fell out. Like it wasn't maybe that bend right there and big enough for the flange to catch it, but it just fell out. The other one didn't do that. And then I took the other nut off, and there's the clip and the flange. That's new. I can see the issue why that flange came off. Where they're flared there on the Vance Hines stainless pipe is very round and kind of smooth. And then you got this guy. Yeah. So I'm not saying like Vance Hines is bad because, of course, I'm Team Tab, but that's going to hold the spring better, the clip better. So, all right, let me throw this on. I already did transfer over to the O2 sensors and all that. There's a single bracket that goes actually where the Vance Hines one was also. So throw that on and golden. Alakazam pipe. The other day somebody was really pissy in the comment section and said, you didn't do a very good job showing us how to install that. Dude, that's not what I do. This is just us hanging out and having fun. It's not a how-to video. I apologize that you're expecting, but all head pipes go on motorcycles the same way. 2 half-inch flange nuts per pipe up on the motor. It's not hard. Change the gaskets with a pick. There's a bracket right there at the bottom of the transmission almost always, and there is on this one. You got a clamp where your muffler goes on, and you got shields that go on. They're all the same. It's not rocket surgery or brain science. All right. This one is unique because again, it's Tab's new 2-in-1, and this one's got the special tip on it that they did as a favor, which has got my logo there, and then says just the tip. We're just going to try it out. We just want to see how it feels. Now we're going to start this together for the first time. I promise you, I have not heard it run. So, here we go. Well, that's different. Wait for it to warm up and hear the chop. I've had in 2-in-1s that Vance Hines. I've had an S&S. I've had a couple others I can't think of right now over the years that I've tried. Cobra. None of them has sounded like this. That's got like a deep and a bark. That sounds inappropriate. Now, mind you, it's not tuned, so you're hearing the cam, the lope, but it's not tuned right now, so it's not going to be quite right. Okay, y'all know I'm not a real YouTube person, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go old school and stick a GoPro in the back of this thing and then take it for a tuning run. And I hope, A, that the camera is there when I get back, and B, that it recorded any sound at all. I don't know. Oh, look. How do I get so dirty doing something so simple? Anyway, so you might be seeing either motorcycle vroom vroom sounds next or nothing. Dear GoPro. What the hell? I mean, I can't. I Was Born for Loving You by Kiss was playing in the background. Say hi. It's a dance party.
It's Friday.
Yep.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Anyway, so GoPro, you suck in a way I can't even possibly explain. So we have a 9 and a 10. And charged them both, but neither would come on. I had to take them apart, take the battery out, put the turned on, put it on the bike. No, it started the red light and then got back and there's nothing on it. It's just there's such crap. Anyway, so probably what DJI is winning. So I don't have a sound of it going down the road. It's really frustrating. I can tell you this. Again, I've had the S&S, I've had the Cobra, I've had, what other 2-in-1s have I had? Super Trap over the years.
Do you have the Sonic?
Do we have a Bassani at one point?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it by far has more bark and is louder than those. This is a very loud 2-in-1. Still not as loud as their normal duals. It's not like, 4-inch sound be loud. But it's got a really good sound. And I'm not going to sit here and go like, oh my God, it has awakened my motorcycle. But I ain't shitting you when I say it's running better. It could be because the front header pipe was like not attached to the motor. That could have been a part of it. But it wasn't ticking or anything, so it wasn't an obvious problem. But yeah, bike ran phenomenally. I did an auto tune, which yes, that's not the best or top of the line way of doing it. You should take it and put it on a dyno and let one of those guys tune it and then lie to you about how much power it made. Yeah, they do that. Because it would be like, I made 195,000 horsepower. No, it's probably a good 120. Because it's a 117 with a cam in it. We had a 117 with a cam in it. It was 119 or 120 and then like 126 to 127 torque. That was a dealer dyno. Those are never inflated. That's probably really what you're looking at here, about 120 horsepower. This is 117. Funny story, though. When I went to auto-tune, I'm just not all there, and I uploaded the wrong map to auto-tune from. Uploaded the one from the wife's bike, so I thought it was a 114 with an S&S 475 for a minute. So I did solve one of life's mysteries. The bike will run and go down the road with the wrong map in it horribly. like it was like it almost wouldn't go off the line. I was like, okay, come on, just nurse it to get some. Before I realized what I had done, limped it home, put the right map in it, and then turned auto tune on. So that's all fine. It was running pretty good even before I tuned it. So that the tune from the Vance Hines to the full length shouldn't have been a huge difference. I mean, more back pressure, right? Or is it? I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I've read from many people before that those shorty 2-into-1s, unless you're running a 130,000 cubic inch race motor, it's really not the best solution. And I can tell you I agree now, because now running a full length 2-into-1, this 117 is running better than it was with that Vance Hines. So that's definitely a thing. And it sounds great. And it has my logo on the tip, and it says just the tip on the end. That is the superior exhaust. You know what I'm saying? I'll put the link and all that stuff. Thanks to Beatrice. That's just a lot of fun to do that. It's not even my bike, and I got to put that on there and enjoy it. So stay tuned for this guy, because there's a lot of things that are going to happen to it the next, I don't know, depends on when it gets here. But Alan has plans, and I've seen photos, and it's not going to blend in. It's the orange bike, we're talking that level of craziness, but with shorty bags and all that sort of performance bagger stuff on it. So there you go. So I don't know if I'm going to go any further performance-wise. I've had people ask, like, are you doing 131 or 135 or one of those kits? I don't know. I mean, like, I think it runs great. So what do you need? I can wheel hop it in second gear. It's like that's pretty fast. That's fine. Feels powerful compared to my chopper. My chopper has maybe 20 horsepower less and weighs half as much. So feels good going on the road. So I kind of feel like leave it alone. Anyway. So question down below if you want. Oh, you know what I should do real quick? I'm going to measure that tip, because somebody's going to ask, is it a 5? Is it? I don't know. Let me find out real quick. So I just measured the width of the outlet. And the reason why that matters is because if you're running a stretch rear end, it just never ends. If you're running a single cut rear end or a dual and you just want to run a single pipe, it's a 4.5-inch width muffler. So what that means is it will fit in an Advan Black single cut or dual cut rear end. You just have an opening on the left side. So I always liked the look of the single cut rear end. I always thought it looked really, really cool. And so 4.5, it'll fit. Don't have to worry about that. Because 50 cals, a lot of those aftermarket cutout, fender and saddlebags, there's not enough width, and you got to shove the pipe back, and they just look goofy. So anyway, so it'll fit. From there, that's it. Love you all to death. Take care of each other. We'll talk real soon. Bye.